Hello and welcome to the Bad Movie Reviews channel, hosted by Daniel, and got myself, Ben. We'll be reviewing the latest Disney Animation Studios film called Strange World, which is directed by Don Hall, who actually has directed recently quite a few good films. He's directed Big Hero 6, which I loved. Moana, great film. Raya and the Last Dragon. Also, I think we saw that together and we absolutely adored that film. That was great.
Yeah, it was great.
But yeah, this one, essentially it's about a legendary, a family of travel,
They're adventurers, they're
discoverers, and essentially his kids kind of wants to be a farmer, and they've got differences, and then he has a kid, and they have differences, and it's it's kind of all over the place, I guess. But what were your thoughts on the film? I know I have a few, but I'll kind of let you touch on it first in terms of the actual overall.
You described a lot of it in your last sentence there. It's a bit all over the place. It's got this like overarching story of obviously the relationship the main character has with his father, and then it kind of tells another story of now how that guy has a relationship with his son, and then vice versa, and how the scenarios are so different, but they're so dramatically the same. And they go through it's like still coming of age aspects for that person going up through that, and then someone learning to be a parent and an adult of someone going through a lot of like dramatic changes in their life and points of view. And then, it's just a bunch of like kind of different family drama that's all happening at the same time. And look, I liked the film. I didn't think in any single way it was phenomenal. I feel like it had a really cool aspect, and I really liked the setting that they used in this. I actually really liked that aspect, and the way like everything inside it all tied together too. So, I don't really want to touch on too much without going into kind of the spoiler kind of things, but I really liked the strange world that they were in. I really liked the universe they created. I just feel like there was a lot of missing key parts throughout the story that felt like it was missing something. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, like something dramatic, something to really like grab you and pull you into on it, something that you're going to like. There was nothing really memorable about this movie for me. It felt like it was just a good time, but there was just not enough of the right stuff going on for me. I didn't feel like the score was fantastic, or the kind of like backstory to some of the characters were like grasping. I just thought like they were just like, here's some characters, they're on this story now. There's the end of the movie. But look, good film, good one to take your kids to.
Enjoyable.
It's enjoyable. Yeah. But it's a movie.
I tend to agree with you on most facets. I actually found, like, compared to, obviously we touched on what Don Hall has directed in terms of Big Hero 6, you had, first of all, beautiful setting, great story, very likable characters, really interesting animation. Then you've got Moana, which had amazing animation, very catchy songs, emotional, and then Raya and the Last Dragon, you had a great story, good action set pieces and things like that. And this film kind of just didn't really land in this. Like in terms of the development of the characters, it's something we've seen multiple times before, where the character kind of hates their father and then tries to not be him, but then ends up being like it's that kind of conventional. And it felt very. I think it's kind of being drowned out by it's actually. Even if you look at his last films that he's directed, it just felt very formulaic, where you have these like, this adorable side character, Splat, who, you have the pig in Moana and the chicken, you have Big Hero 6, you have Baymax, you have Raya and the Last Dragon, the little echidna looking thing or whatever. But like, it was just very formulaic in that sense. It's stuff you've seen before, but the story was the main thing that really needed to catch you, or the characters. And there's not really any like memorable or like they're all likable characters, but then it's not sort of majorly memorable. But the world, where it really stood out is the world building and the the actual animal designs on Strange World. They were really interesting and actually quite cool. And I think it's just a film that looks really good.
Agreed.
And the animation is beautiful, but animation is genuinely beautiful, but it's a bit of a weird one because they actually haven't marketed it very well. Like, I think when we went and saw it, you said you've only seen the poster once or twice, and I think it's on the way to lose about $100 million. And we're talking about a Disney animated film here. It's not,
Yeah.
you know, an A24 indie masterpiece by any means. Like it's a bit interesting, but I think they also need to go back to hiring actual voice actors. Like Jake, like imagine the money you paid Jake Gyllenhaal just to voice a character when you could have paid some guy, you know, a couple $100,000 or whatever just to voice. And you like, it's just a thing that adds on to the fact that you've got no memorable voice acting or anything like that. That, you know, he just voices himself. It's not like Jack Black putting on a Bowser thing, which if you want to watch, we'll watch our Mario trailer reaction after this. But I just thought it was a serviceable movie. It's just one of those Disney films that comes out. It's enjoyable. It's a film that the kids will enjoy. As I said, you've got your cool animated creatures, your side character that kids will love. They'll want their latest plush toy. But other than that, I just think it's an okay, enjoyable movie. I don't think there's really any major negatives like, oh, I hate this film because of that. No, it was just...
But there wasn't too many standout positives other than really the world design, which was
unreal. The world building. There's beautiful vistas and world building. And
unreal, the world design.
But... And that's obviously, you know, comes down to the artists, and I pay respect to, you know, fair play to them. It just kind of obviously their film, that, you know, what they did it for. The film wasn't a 10 out of 10 by any means, but definitely enjoyable, and I think it has a spot to, you know, watch on a summer holiday, like, you know, with your kids. But other than that, it's a bit of a meh. But other than that, we'll kind of, I guess, cap that off there. There's probably not much to touch on. Feel free to go see it. Let us know what you think in the comments if you have already seen it. Other than that, we'll catch you next time.
Sounds good.
See you guys.